And good afternoon to you. I'm meteorologist Nicholas Raboso here with Next Weather on this Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. And we've got a fun day here ahead. A lot of weekend plans ahead, a lot of activities happening tonight here in Mobile. So a lot to track. Good news is the forecast in the near term is pretty calm and quiet. However, we are going to be talking about some long-range changes, and I mean long-range changes, all the way close to Christmas. Yeah, we're looking at that forecast as well. So a lot to track here. I've got about 10 minutes to do it. So let's go ahead and get ready. I am live on Facebook right now, so if you are on Facebook and watching and want to ask your questions, you can do so. I can see those right there on my side screen, so be sure to ask those questions. We're going to get right to it here. We're talking about the forecast in the near term. So 63 degrees right now in Mobile. What a pleasant day we've had. At this little band of high clouds that are rolling through, something that the forecast model picked up on pretty easily. So that's something that we're expecting to deal with tonight, but this band of clouds will actually keep us not as cold tonight, or at least through the evening. So here's our forecast. If you're heading out to downtown Mobile for Loda Art Walk, it's going to be a fantastic one. When temperatures in the 50s, we're calling it cool and pleasant for your evening plans. And this is the beginning of the warming trend. Notice this evening is not as cold as it has been over the past few evenings. So changes are on the way with warmer temperatures. As you start your Saturday morning, look at these temperatures in the 40s, not in the 30s, in the 40s. So yes, some changes here. 43 degrees in Grove Hill, 44 in Evergreen, 49 in Mobile, and 50s right on the coast. 50 in Pascagoula, Pensacola, 50 Navarre, 54 Destin, and 52 in Gulf Shores. So notice that this is the beginning of the slightly milder feel that we will have over the next few days. Looking more regionally with our temperatures, Montgomery at 45 on Saturday morning, 44 in Evergreen, 49 in Mobile. Warming trend for the weekend. Clouds around on Saturday, clouds around on Sunday, a little more moisture in our atmosphere. So if you have weekend plans, understand that you may not need the jacket if you're out in the afternoon. This is going to be a bit milder, a bit warmer out there with temperatures getting to around 70 degrees. This is kind of a more stagnant pattern that we're entering into. There's not going to be any fronts coming through our area through the weekend, or into early next week for that matter. So there's really not a lot in terms of rain chances. It's just the warmth that we're going to be dealing with over the next few days. So weekend is actually looking fantastic. You have Saturday afternoon plans, 68 degrees. That's a nice temperature, a very nice temperature. Then on Sunday, 71 degrees, partly sunny skies. It's going to be a decent forecast for us there as well. Here's the forecast for Saturday afternoon. This is Saturday afternoon. I've kind of gone regional here. You can see how the entire southeast is just a bit warmer. We're sitting in the 60s. New Orleans is hitting 70. Tallahassee is hitting 73 degrees. So a very mild start to the weekend there on Saturday afternoon. And zooming in a little bit, we'll look at Montgomery. Montgomery, 64 degrees. Of course, South Alabama playing over there. That kickoff is not until 8 p.m., but the afternoon, if you're there early at South Alabama's game against Western Michigan, it is looking pretty nice. Just a few clouds around. What about rain chances this weekend? I think they're very, very low. Rain chances near zero. In fact, if you look at our forecast, our 7-day outlook, which we'll show in a second, you'll see that we do not have rain chances through next Wednesday. However, I do want to mention that there is like a near zero, maybe 10% chance. It's just not enough for us to put on our long range forecast. So just kind of give some context is what we're thinking there. We are going to have moisture in the atmosphere for the next few days. But rain chances stay near zero or 10%. So not really very high at all. Again, there's a forecast across the region. Now let's look at that forecast for the Salute to Veterans Bowl. This is the bowl game that South Alabama will be playing in tomorrow. This is at 8 p.m. for kickoff in Montgomery. Notice 8 p.m. temperatures are in the 50s for this one. So jackets needed, some clouds around. It's not going to be frigid though. Actually should be some decent weather for a bowl game. Again, South Alabama, Western Michigan, 8 p.m. in Montgomery. Best of luck to South Alabama in that bowl game there under Coach Applewhite, his first. That'll be an exciting game to watch for sure on Saturday. Again, this weekend, the main story, afternoon temperatures warming up day by day. Look at us by Tuesday. That's 74 degrees in the afternoon. That is 10 degrees above average. So we're going to be running 10 degrees above average over the next few days here. Be ready for it. Also, as I mentioned, a lot of the fronts struggle to get to us over the next few days. Here's what we're tracking, quiet for now. The GFS Futurecast model shows not a lot. You actually saw a couple attempts of some bands of showers just to our north that tried to get into our area, but we stay with just a few clouds around. Once again, rain chances near 0%, 10%, something like that. But then finally, as we go to the end of next week, we start to see some changes. Finally, a front comes in and we bring a chance of rain. This front will likely pass on Thursday morning. That's been pretty consistent with the forecast models, or at least around the Thursday morning. It brings a small rain chance Wednesday night into Thursday. This is next week. Wednesday night and Thursday, about a week out here, a little less than a week out now at this point. And then that passes through, and then colder air is to follow. I want to mention as well that some attention was drawn to northern Alabama. GFS forecast model yesterday was attempting to show some wintry precipitation in northern Alabama, now showing less of that. Something we'll keep an eye on for our friends in northern Alabama, also northern Georgia. You can see the precipitation in Tennessee there. But for us locally, we're just expecting showers, then the cold air comes in after that. So snow lovers, I am terribly sorry. Now looking ahead at the next 7 days, it's just that shower chance on Thursday, and then temperatures finally drop. Look at Friday, a high of only 58 degrees, so temperatures really going down after that. So in your 7-day outlook, and I'm not done, guys. I do have more in the forecast to talk about. I just want to show you the 7-day for now because this is how far we have to go before we see major changes. 7 days out, temperatures stay generally warm. We're in the 70s. Partly cloudy skies, rain chances 0 to 10%. So generally low here. Now we're going to talk about the interesting stuff. Beyond that Thursday, Friday, this is getting towards around the I think 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, that time period, things begin to change and we get this large area of cold air that comes across the eastern United States. You might have seen talks about it on social media. This will likely happen before Christmas. So we have this warm week where if you like the warm weather, you get your warm weather, and then things change there. So let's dive into that 10-day and beyond forecast here as we get closer and closer to Christmas. Look at the forecast highs. Look what happens there Thursday into Friday. Friday, 58 for a forecast high. Temperatures are going down there. It's going to be rather chilly. Could we get another push of cold air Sunday into Monday? I think very much we could. In fact, we're seeing it on some of the forecast models. I'm going to take this full so you can see this. First forecast model I'm going to show you is the GFS forecast model, showing the upper level pattern. That little blue ball that you see, anything of those cooler colors, that is troughing in the upper levels. Think of it as a wave of energy. Think of it as a push of colder air. So our first push comes with that Thursday cold front. Remember I talked about that Thursday cold front? There's that first push, and there's that first push of cold air. But watch what happens after this. That's the 19th, that's Thursday, the 20th, the 21st, getting close to Christmas, to 22nd. This bowling ball of cold air dives down over the eastern United States, bringing some very, very chilly conditions, a big Arctic plunge for the eastern United States. This is just a few days before Christmas. Looking at this with a different map. This map is surface high pressure. That little red ball you see, that's the high pressure that follows our cold front that we originally saw. So that's our Thursday cold front, which is about right here. And then the high pressure to follow, so there's some cool air behind that. But then watch what happens after that. A huge, very strong high pressure system, that's your Arctic air, dives in after that. Around that high pressure system at the surface, cold air pushes in on the eastern side. Means we get a strong northerly wind on the 22nd. This is not next weekend, but the weekend after. 22nd, the weekend before Christmas, and cold air pushing in to our area. So this is your first heads up. I'm giving you a forecast update that is way longer than I would typically talk about, but because it's Christmas, we just want to go ahead and look ahead to it. So this is the forecast that's happening before Christmas. Strong Arctic high pressure plunging over the eastern United States, bringing cold air. And there's some decent confidence in this. This is such a strong system that we're likely to see some colder air. How cold? Highs in the 50s. Lows in the 20s. Some early indications on the forecast models. This will be that 22nd time frame right before Christmas. I do think, and when you think about this is as far as I'm going to let the forecast models go. If that high pressure continues to slide off to the east, it looks like as we get towards Christmas, we might see the change of the pattern from the cold to the warm once again. That's how it always goes in winter. So we see the change in the pattern, and we'll see eventually a gradual warming trend as we get closer to Christmas. So it's interesting when you look at the long-range forecast. We're up this week. In fact, I'll go ahead and go to the 10-day outlook so you can see this. We're up this week. We're warm in the 70s. Then that Thursday front passes. Then we get another push of Arctic air as we get to the following weekend. The 22nd is probably our turning point as we head into Christmas. Looking way out in the forecast there. But it's interesting to look at this far out that we're already getting some indication. So I hope that gives you some kind of indication as what to expect. Next week, warm. The week following, the weekend and the week following, possibly chilly. That does lead us to Christmas. It is 2:57, and we have got to get to the 3 p.m. show, which we will be on very, very shortly. So if you want more on the forecast, be sure to tune in to Fox 10 Live at 3 p.m. I'll be on in just a little bit, and we'll talk more about this. But I gave you the deep dive here on what we're thinking for some long-range cold temperatures after our little warm spell that we have here. So something interesting to talk about here on Next Weather. We thank you so much for joining us. If you have any question, be sure to ask them in the comments.